All right, so let's get on with part two, you guys. So everything worked out for the best. In the first part, everything was going great, and then my light went out, and a bunch of stuff was happening. So I took a break, had my dinner, charged the lights. So we are back. Now get ready, get your seatbelts on. It's gonna be a bit of a ride because this is the part that's going to be. Some of you will say juicy, some of you may say messy, but basically the tea lovers, I guess, this is where the tea is gonna be. But yeah. But listen, I'm gonna say what needs to be said. I will. And I will say everything that was presented to me. I will. But before we move on, just a reminder, my name is Rachel Mbuki. I'm a former Miss Kenya. I'm a patriotic Kenya. And you're also watching me on Extra Access TV. Now, Extra Access TV usually just covers Hollywood entertainment news or international entertainment news whenever it intersects with Hollywood, which is why I think that this is a great juxtaposition and intersectionality thing happening here because this was about Miss Universe, which just concluded. In this case, it's about Miss Universe Kenya. I just so happen to be an extra access correspondent who was a former Miss Universe Kenya, and also Miss Universe is definitely international entertainment news and even Hollywood. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, please make sure that you're following. And what is it that they do on YouTube? Make sure that you subscribe to Extra Access TV because we have a lot coming up for you, especially in 2025. You don't want to miss out. So yeah, we would love to have you join our fan bam. I mean, your Kenyan girl is out here doing her thing, okay? But that's beside the point. Now let's get back to the matter at hand. Like I said in the last video, I'm doing it as a journalist because I want to come at it from a truth-telling standpoint, no bias whatsoever, all right? Now with that said, the first part of this video I am doing honestly solely as a journalist because I really battled with whether I wanted to talk about this. Um, because I never want to make a queen feel like, oh, you did not deserve to win or anything like that. Because any pageant, even the just concluded Miss Universe pageant, whenever there's a winner, there's always someone saying, well, they didn't deserve to win. But I felt like I should tell this part of the story, one, because it did come from a trusted source, and two, it also plays into what happens for the rest of this video and the things that I narrate to you. Now, like I said, you're going to need your seatbelts on because it's going to be a roller coaster from here on out, okay? So I'm getting into my mojo. Let's go. All right, so I'm taking you back before we continue from where we left off in the last video. I'm taking you back to the Miss Universe Kenya competition in Nairobi as it was happening. I'm talking about the preliminary events at Miss Universe Kenya to the final. Now, this part of the story I did not get from someone who works for Miss Universe Kenya, but I do trust this source. I do. They are a very credible source, and even though they don't work for Miss Universe Kenya, they were close enough, and they were there to where they can give me their firsthand account. Okay. All right, let's go. Okay, so here is the information that I got. I'll take you first and foremost to the crowning night of Miss Universe Kenya. So this very reliable source tells me that on the night of the crowning, so you remember how they had actually invited the reigning Miss Universe and the owner of the Miss Universe organization, and then that lady that works under her that lives here in LA, her name escapes me right now, but yeah, her. But basically, the top two execs of the Miss Universe organization and the Miss Universe herself were in Kenya to crown Miss Kenya, which was a big deal. So they're there and, the pageant, everything is going down. Now, this source of mine, they were seated next to the Miss Universe people. And I know for a fact that they were because, I saw them in the videos and everything. So the source tells me, I'm trying not to divulge if it's a man or a woman. So the source tells me that at some point when the pageant is going on, the Honorable Ababu Namwamba, the owner of the Miss Universe organization, he comes over to them and he asks them, I think at this point, maybe they're down to the finalists. He's like, who do you think is going to win? Who do you think is going to win? He's asking the Miss Universe people, like, excitedly, who do you think is going to win? Who you got? Who you think is going to win? So all of them tell him that we think that the girl who ends up being first runner-up, I believe her name is Masi Jerotich or something like that, they're like, we think she will win. At that point, obviously, they've not announced the finalists. He's like, oh, Masi Teach. Like, yeah, Masi Teach. They're like, no, no, well, I don't think they said Masi Teach, but like, yeah, you know, that girl. Yeah, for sure. And she's the one who ends up being fast runner up. Um, and you know what? I can see it. This girl is, she's very beautiful and she's got a very quintessential Miss Universe look. Like, gorgeous. I mean, body on point. She's got the perfect face, just very, very beautiful, very pretty. Very, I feel like she reminds me a bit of Miss Zimbabwe. Like if she had the same styling, they would have been going toe to toe, neck to neck. You know what I mean? Like I thought she was beautiful. I hadn't really paid attention. I didn't watch the pageant when it happened, but just going back, I'm like, oh, I see why they would say that, right? And so here's a video of her just to give you guys an idea. All right, so now you've seen the girl. So they say to Ababu, this is according to my source that was there, allegedly. They say to him, yeah, we think that's who's going to win. And he goes, yeah, that's who you think? They go, yeah. And then she tells me all of a sudden, the staff that are working the pageant come from behind the scenes and they all just run with this blue placards, this blue signs, and they all go and stand in one area and they just start chanting, and all these blue signs say Team Irene, Team Irene, Team Irene. And it's like the person tells me that it just felt very contrived and fake. It was weird. It was like where they come from and like why like the why is the staff involved, the whole intricacy, the whole chanting Team Irene. Then all of a sudden people are coming there and like, you know, the people videographing the pageant, it's like someone told them go get that, then they go and they get that Team Irene thing. And it's like, so the person told me that that was very weird and it just looked like it was very staged, and everybody was like, okay, that's odd, you know. Hey guys, and another odd thing was when Irene was at Miss Universe for the finals night, Miss Universe Kenya posted that they were having a watch party for her. And when they posted the pictures of the watch party, all the people there, which I'm assuming includes Miss Universe Kenya staff, were holding up those same signs, which goes to show that the person who gave me this info was not so far-fetched. It looks like these were signs made by Miss Universe Kenya, but the question is, why would they have made them before she won? You know what I mean? So then the pageant goes on, and then Irene winds up winning. And so apparently there's another lady who's also Asian, but she lives here in LA. So she looks up and she sees them crowning Irene, and she turns to this, my source, and goes, wait, what happened? Why are they crowning this girl? I feel bad saying this. I'm only saying this just because as a journalist, it's my job to tell the story as it's been given to me. So this is not for me. These are not my personal feelings, and it's not for me to say that this was actually rigged. It's all alleged. So this is very much everything allegedly. I'm just relaying the story as it was given to me. And this part hurts me, to be honest with you, because I don't want to make the queen feel like you know, this is what I mean. These are not my words. This is what was given to me. So then they were, the Miss Universe people were like, wait, what? What happened? They crowned her. And then so the Miss Universe people, they were discussing with this other person. They're like, there's no way that she's going to be able to compete against the caliber of girls that we have coming. The caliber of black girls that we have coming this year are strong. Like, there's no way. And so keep that in mind. So I was like, And then another thing I was told, which I went back into the Miss Universe Kenya archives, you know, of how the competition was going. I was told that during the preliminaries in the Miss Universe Kenya, that this particular girl who ended up winning was being pushed to the forefront as if she was already a winner, and the other girls were just like her backdrop, kind of like Destiny's Child. You know how Beyonce was just there, then there's everybody else, or Pussycat Dolls. Remember Pussycat Dolls, and it was Nicole Scherzinger and the rest of the dolls that nobody could really make out. So like it was like that. So if there were TV appearances, she'd be pushed to the front. She'd be the one speaking. She'd be the one being promoted. So it was already feeling like she's the one who's supposed to win this thing, and it was just like weird. And then the last weird thing that happened is apparently, and this is not actually apparently, I have proof of this, I have video proof of this. When they announced the winner, you know how the two girls are standing there, and it's Irene and it's Massey, and then they're like, and the winner is. I was told this, but then I went and I saw for myself, and I'm gonna be placing that video here. When they announced that Irene was the winner, at the back on the screen, it literally said, Miss Universe Kenya 2024 winner, Masi Jerotich, her whole name back there. Like it just said that the whole entire time. And even as she was being crowned, it still say that until the very end. I guess they went and they changed it. So here, you don't have to take my word for it. Check out the video.
Alright, there you have it. Miss Universe Kenya.
Please, just stay off the stage, stay off the stage.
Sorry, please clear the stage. Let's clear the stage. We'll get you to clear the stage, please. Thank you.
All right, the family is overwhelmed. Congratulations to you, Irene,
That's
Miss Universe.
That's okay. It's allowed.
Kenya 2024. And the lady who will be presenting her with the crown is the...
I mean, it's very coincidental, no? I mean, yeah, I would feel some type of way if that was me, if I was either one of the girls. Now, from an outsider who wasn't there looking in, if I just saw that without knowing any context, this is what I would have thought. Being a Kenyan and knowing how things could work back home, allegedly, I would chalk it down to, it seems like the judges wanted the first runner-up to win, but then someone pulled some strings somewhere, and then they were like, no, we're not crowning her, we're crowning this particular person. But then during the commercial break, before they were announced, someone had already told the graphics guy, oh, the winner is Masi Jerotich, so just plug it in there so that it comes on the screen when she wins. But last minute, someone said, hell no, that's not who's gonna win. It needs to be this person. Plug that, like, but then they didn't catch that that was already happening until she was on stage. Like literally, even as that girl was being crowned, until towards the very, very end, that's when they catch it and change it. But the whole time it said, winner, Masi Jerotich. Not first runner-up, winner. Like, I'm so sorry, but that is very suspicious. So before we move on to the next part of this is, because now you get to see how, if that is what really happened, Miss Universe Kenya, I hope you would have learned your lesson, because this blew up in your faces so hard. Anyway, so if that's what happened, it's unfortunate because, okay, I'm going to take myself out of the realm of feeling sorry for the girl that we're talking about, but like if I was to pick just by looks alone with those two, as far as who looks more pageant ready, the first runner-up looked like a winner to me. And apparently to the Miss Universe organization too, allegedly. And also to apparently everybody else watching, because the general sentiment is if you see people writing things, people in my DMs, they're like, oh, it wasn't how, everybody has this story of it wasn't her who was supposed to win. I did not take it seriously till my source told me. And then after that, till I saw the video, and now I'm like, well, whatever the case, she did win. So like the next phase from this should be, okay, now let's go ahead and go to Miss Universe. Now, when you were watching the last video, you saw a part where I read a little bit of something that talked about wardrobe and then took it back. Now, fast forward, we are at Miss Universe. Miss Universe, as you know, is not responding to me, hence the reason why I put this message on my stories at some point. But what I did not know is that I'm not the only one that she was not responding to. And it gets deeper. There was more controversy. It gets deeper than that. So let me take you back to the text. Give me just 1 second. Un momento, por favor. All right, so let's get into it. Okay, so in the last video, I showed you a part where while we were talking about the national costume, this is the first time she addressed the outfits to me. This person from the, sorry, let me run it back. Now, if you remember in the previous video, I had mentioned something when I was talking about the communication between me and the Miss Universe Kenya organization woman that was reaching out to me when we were trying to sort out the national costume part. She said something about Irene's outfits to me, and that's the first time she mentioned it. So she goes, I think a babu needs to be big on contracts. Even Irene hardly wore the designs that were designed for her. The team saw the clothes and wigs on social media in capital letters. Contracts, all those wigs you saw, we were also getting shocked with you. So then I'm pretty sure in the voice note that I sent her, I was like, really? What do you mean? Wait, so you guys didn't have anything to do with that? So the response to that is, those were her ideas, girl. We had great designs. I need to give you this tea properly once we're done with this trauma. I guess the trauma of her not placing, which I was like, because they were like so traumatized and sad she didn't place. And I'm like, why are you sad? She was not prepared. Like, you know, she was just not prepared the correct way. More could have been done. Anyway, at that point, I was blaming them. Then now she's trying to tell me, listen, it wasn't our fault. We had a wardrobe for her. She didn't wear it. So in response to that, this is what I said. What were those outfits she was wearing then? Because to me, that was a lot of overthinking for poor results. Would have been better to just buy ready-made, well-made stuff. I made a similar mistake in my time too, and I learned no one cares about the backstory or cultural relevance of an outfit if it doesn't look good and it makes you more of a spectacle that isn't taken seriously. Now, this is what was killing me because the mistakes Irene made, I kind of made. But to me, in my case, it wasn't my fault. This is what the organization gave me. And it took me going there to understand, oh man, we had it all wrong. So they had me wearing all these Maasai type outfits. Every outfit I had was some sort of Maasai outfit. Or even if it's a dress, I'll be wearing that stuff, the beaded stuff on the head or the necklaces. Just like thinking, oh, I'm there to represent Kenya, so I have to like wear really cultural stuff. Stuff that you would never catch me wearing in Nairobi or like just going for an event. Maybe, just maybe like a traditional rural show or something like that, but that wouldn't even be what I would be wearing because I'm kind of like, these were clothes I would never wear, but for some reason we thought that if we wear all these sort of like traditional Kenyan stuff, that it would be so powerful. But all that did was make me into a spectacle, really. Just people will stop and be like, oh, Miss Kenya, oh wow, this is Kenyan culture, oh nice. But guess what? No cameras were going off when I was going by. But then the girl behind me in the Dolce & Gabbana and the Louboutins, honey, she got all the flick, 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 fluff, 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 flashing lights. And I knew that I messed up when on one of our final nights, I ran out of that stuff to wear. I was like, oh, enough. All this Masai market stuff. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to dress regular today. So I put on a long fitted black gown. And I remember in the middle, it was all black mesh. And I just wore regular earrings. And the moment I came out of my room, everyone, the girls, the staff, oh my God, Miss Kenya, you look so beautiful. Where have these clothes been? And I was like, oh, what you mean where have these clothes been? So you didn't like what I was wearing? And then I went outside and the photographers were taking pictures. And I remember we had dinner and we did karaoke that night and everyone was overly complimenting me. And I wanted the ground to like open up and swallow me because I realized this whole time they've just been thinking, this poor girl doesn't have nice clothes. She can't afford nice things. Or so I don't even know what they were thinking, but they were so in awe to just see me looking like a modern woman. And that's when it hit me. Because hindsight is always 2020. That's when it hit me. Girl, that is why they have the national costume. That's when you show your culture. But every other time, it's lights, camera, action, fashion, and glamour, honey. It took me leaving Miss Universe to understood everything I did wrong. And so I say to myself, every other girl that comes after me, I will do my best to guide them, because I was like, oh my gosh, I wish someone had told me. Y'all, I showed up to Miss Universe wearing no makeup. Like, that's how simple I was. Because, in the streets over there at Strathmore University, over there in my neighborhood, even walking downtown, I was pretty just having no makeup and my little lip gloss. But honey, this is Miss Universe. No one told me that. No, that's the first time you walk in and they take pictures. And I look back, I'm like, how you all dressed up in a pantsuit and heels and then no makeup? Like, I was too young and too green to understand. I came back from Miss Universe with my eyes popped open like this. I went for another international pageant after that, and I was second runner up. And everybody said I was robbed. It was called Miss Tourism Intercontinental. It was in Malaysia. And yeah, it was political, and I probably should have won. But that goes to show that I was so green that I needed that experience to wake me up. So I promised myself I'll never let that be another girl. I'll do my best to help and just guide them and not make the same mistakes I did, because I wish one of the previous girls had just reached out to me and told me some of these things. So that's why I'm always so passionate trying to help, because I'm like, girl, like, you gotta do this right for us. Like, I'll never get a redo, y'all, unless they start maybe Miss Universe All Stars where the old girls can return. Then I'll be like, please let me go. I have one more chance to prove myself. You know what I mean? But like, in the meantime, I've grown. I have a lot going on. I'm in Hollywood. I'm a great resource. So anyway, now, from the messages that I just read out to you, you saw that she said to me that, oh, where's my phone? Where's the phone? Oh, God. So anyway, you saw me asking, like, what were those designs she was wearing? And I'm telling her, I made the same mistake. So anyway, she responds and says, designs were $3,000 budget. Then we also saw her designs which were not on the plan. Then she repeats, contracts. They didn't have actual contracts with how much autonomy she had. So she virtually managed herself. Okay, so I'm not going to read every message from there, but I'll try to throw some up there as we go. So, wait. Another part, I don't think it was here. Oh, yeah, this is where she also goes on to tell me. This franchise has money. What is needed are rocking strategies, and she has great sponsors. So this Miss Universe Kenya person is actually criticizing how they don't have contracts, because I sent her a voice note, and I'm pretty sure that's what I was like, what do you mean you had no contracts? Like, she is an employee at the end of the day. You are the employer as Miss Universe Kenya. She as Miss Universe Kenya organization. She as a Miss Universe Kenya title holder is your employee for a period of a year, and there has to be a strict set rule of guidelines. That's why you see some girls being dethroned, because they broke a rule. There has to be a set of rules. So she then goes on to tell me, and I will post this stuff up. She goes, girl, people have been stressed. It's difficult to manage a super independent person who placed without an ND. But this is Miss Universe, the stakes are higher. I'm like, placed at the Kenyan competition or Miss Universe? I was confused. I was like, what is she talking about? She goes at MGI, that's Miss Grand International. Now, Miss Grand International is an international pageant, but it's smaller than Miss Universe. It by no means is Miss Universe. Like, you can't even compare. Even the pageant where I went later and I got second runner-up, you cannot compare. First of all, at Miss Grand International, you don't even need to have a national director to show up, because at Miss Universe, how it works is it works as a franchise. In order for you to be the Miss Universe, the owner of the Miss Universe Kenya organization, you have to pay a lot of money, in the tens of thousands of dollars. I think with the last organization, it used to be about $38,000. I'm pretty sure they doubled it with this organization from what I heard. So it's expensive. So you buy that franchise and you buy into it. And then after that, you're able to do the pageant and send the girl. Now, these smaller international competitions, a lot of them don't have to go through that process, because they're not Miss Universe and they're not Miss World. So when it comes to Miss Grand International, literally, and FYI, this is for all the girls out there who would like to compete at Miss Grand International, You don't need a national director. You literally just write to them. You're like, hey, I'm Rachel and I'm fabulous. These are my pictures. This is what I do. Whatever guidelines and criteria they have, you just write to them. A lot of times, there's only one girl submitting herself anyway. So they're like, okay, we'll make that one be Miss Kenya. They're like, okay, you can come. You'll be Miss Kenya. And sometimes maybe 2 or 3 of you, right? Then they choose the best one and they're like, yeah, you can come. You too can try next year. But you see, it's like much less professional than Miss Universe. It's a smaller pageant. The prize package is much smaller. And when you win Miss Grand International, they might talk about it in the pageant circles, but you don't see it covered on CNN. You don't see it covered on Good Morning America. You don't see it all over the world like the way Miss Universe is. So that's the difference. So why do I say all of this? I say all of this because this person from the Miss Universe Kenya organization is essentially telling me that she was unmanageable because she was too independent minded. Why? Because a few years back, she went and competed. She submitted herself and went and competed at Miss Grand International without a national director, and she actually placed in the top 20. So I guess after placing in the top 20 at that smaller pageant, she figured nobody can tell me nothing. So from there, she's now starts telling me everything about the outfits. And you know what? Just to make this move faster, instead of me reading everything, I'm just going to tell you what I was told, and then I'm going to put those text messages up as we go because I want to get through this and I don't want to make this a super, super, super long video. So let's just move on. All right. So I've told you about the Miss Grand International part. So now she starts opening up to me. I'm like, wait. What do you mean that she had a wardrobe? So you're telling me you guys had actually made a wardrobe for her that she was supposed to wear? They're like, yes, we had. I'm like, oh, well, what happened to it? She's like, girl, we don't know. We sent her there with a full wardrobe and she never wore them. I'm like, okay. So she's like, we did not know anything about this stuff she was wearing, like promoting her book and giving meanings to them. She knew we were making a wardrobe for her. Her measurements were taken. We got the wardrobes. We spent $3,000, which that doesn't sound like much to me for a whole wardrobe. But then I do live in LA, so I'm imagining if you have like local designers making her clothes, $3,000 is a good amount, I guess. But to their credit, whatever it was that they were spending, she showed me that Irene had only worn 3 of the outfits that they had given her to at the actual pageant. And then you know how she would come out every day with her little outfits and be like, and she shows it off from head to toe and said, well, this outfit today is from my book. Okay, so she wrote this book, Inspiring, and this book will keep coming up throughout the rest of this thing because Homegirl went to Miss Universe to promote her book because every one of those outfits that she wore was about this chapter in my book says this and this outfit represents that, and then just some amazing quote about all the things in her book that have to go with the outfit. And it's like, girl, no one cares if your outfit was inspired by the river and the earth and the moon and the wisdom that is the angels that occupy hell, and this is how it all relates to me, and chapter 3 of my book, go buy it. Nobody cares. As long as your outfit doesn't look good, we don't care what the backstory is. Now, we really, like, no one does. And I'm telling you that from first-hand experience. Oh, look to today was inspired by chapter 3 of my book where this and this happened and I saved the angels of the earth and the this and the that and the that and that. All that thinking is, girl, what is that? Who made that? Fabric looks cheap. It doesn't fit you well. It's really ill-fitting. The colors are kind of not giving. And if this is custom, like, why isn't it fitted to your body? And like, who even like thought of doing this? I don't know. There's a coat with like lion faces and like, I guess a lion's mane on each side. And like, what is going on? So to my surprise, the Miss Universe person tells me, yeah, we were just as surprised as everybody else. That was a budget for everything, hair and clothes, but she went and did her. So here's what they tell me. So they're just shocked because the whole time they were spending money getting her these outfits. she was secretly getting her own outfits made that she could use to sell each chapter of her book, because in her head these outfits were going to be so amazing and people will just be like, wow, wow, you are the author of authors. You know, take my money, give me your book, I will buy 16 and go share with more people who need to hear this great message. And I'll come back to why there's nothing wrong with wanting to promote yourself, but how you went all about it was very wrong, my dear. So I was shocked because in the beginning, I was very like, I was demanding and asking. I wanted answers out because in my head, Miss Universe Kenya let this girl down. But then they start telling me, listen, no, we had her outfits made. So then they showed me that she only wore 3 of the outfits that they got her. And wouldn't you know it, on those 3 days she wore those outfits is when she actually looked like, I say semi-decent because for one, when she was showing off all her other outfits, she would be like showing off the full outfit. On the days when she wore the Miss Universe Kenya outfit, she was not showing off the full outfit. With one of them, I think it's just a video or a picture, but either way, she has a big red bag that they gave her covering like most of her body. But I saw that picture that day and I just thought it was this black jumpsuit. It had really nice finishing on the shoulders and it looked really good. And I was like, wow, that actually looks like a good outfit. Can you move the bag so we can see what you're wearing? She never showed off that full outfit. Then there was another pink ensemble. And in that one, she doesn't again take a full picture. She only takes a picture from here to here. Why? Because it's not promoting a chapter of her inspiring. I believe that's the name of the book. Inspiring. As in, I'm guessing it means it's like I'm guessing it's a combination of inspire and Irene. So inspiring. I am so inspiring. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, how could this happen? Like, to me, it's diabolical. You let the organization spend money on your wardrobe and you never had any intention of wearing it. And you went and you did you and you were having your stuff made in secret. And I'm so sorry, but I'm sure you know by now, just from the comments you've been getting, all of those clothes were just so poorly made. If a designer, I mean, I hope your mom made those clothes honestly like it was a home project. No offense to your mom. I'm sure she's a beautiful person. Or maybe your sister, or maybe you as a home, maybe you were like a really good home science student. Because if an actual designer made those, they should just beg you never to tell people who they are. Those were terrible. Maybe they just really rushed it last minute. I don't understand. And it's like they did you no favors. They were ill-fitting. They were just... As a cow, the best thing I could say is they were just koso koso. Koso koso, you know what I mean? Like, just, you know, because... Anyway, let me put a pin in that. So they tell me we couldn't tell her nothing, even when she was here. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, you should be able to, like, you are her team. She should listen to you. She's like, well, first of all, like I said, there was no contract. And second of all, we couldn't even get her to go to her catwalk classes. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, we got her the best catwalk coach in Kenya. And she did not show up for even one catwalk class. And I was like, you know what? That's why, you know, the girls, before they go to Miss Universe nowadays, they always post videos of them training catwalking. And they're usually like in a dance studio with mirrors all around, but it's them and their coach. And so their coach is like, they're like walking and the coach is like instructing them. And so you see, ooh, they're training really hard. But she posted hers and it was literally just her walking around alone. And, yeah, so that made sense. I was like, oh, because I thought that was weird. I was like, what the hell is wrong with these Miss Kenya people? Can they get a coach to train her, even if it's a local one? You can even do virtual ones with international ones. I was just like, oh, what the hell? So it turns out that was her too. Because again, she placed at Miss Grand International, a much smaller pageant, and felt like, you know, she doesn't need anyone's help. Now, for reference, let me give you an example. There's this particular girl, she was representing France at actually this year's Miss Grand International, okay? She's the girl who was walking and then she took off her wig and then she was bald and so pretty and her walk was just A1, which by the way, We follow each other on Instagram and we chat as well, because the moment I just left her a compliment, she clicked on my profile, saw who I was, and she immediately followed me back. And, you know, we chat, which again goes back to all these girls who are really being seen as it girls. They see the value in talking to me, but not our girl. But hey, let's just keep that aside for now. But anyway, I brought that girl up for a reason. So when it came to that girl, guess what? Her walk was pristine, and she'd get to the end, darling, and she'd give you a this, and she'd give you a and then a ooh, things we never used to do back in our day. We just used to walk. Like, she'd be like, you know? So it turns out that in real life, this girl is actually a catwalk coach herself. But when she needed to go to Miss Grand International, which is not even Miss Universe, but it's still an international competition, she humbled herself enough, okay? She humbled herself enough that she went and got a coach. And I will put their video here because I follow both of them, and they're just fabulous. And the coach was like, listen, this is one of the best clients I've ever had. She already is a coach, so she knew what she was doing, but together we refined her walk to perfection, darling. And so that goes to show you, no matter how much you think you know, you can always get better. Another thing, Kenyans keep saying, Irene has such a good walk, Irene has such a good walk. I'm so sorry, but if I'd been able to talk to her, I would have remedied this for her. I'm so sorry to let you guys know, but she doesn't have a good walk, actually, according to the rules of pageantry. And I'm going to demonstrate it to you just now. Give me a second. Okay, so I'm back to give you the demonstration, and this is the closest thing that we have to a broom, because other than that, we have like vacuums and the smaller ones, and this is like more of a mop, really. But I wanted to show you something. When it comes to the pageant walk, that lean back move that she does, that a lot of Kenyan models do actually, because it reminded me of girls back in the day, that is actually considered a terrible walk, because from the bottom down, her walk is great. She's got the stance, she's got everything, but at the top, she leans back. And I'm not exaggerating, if you look at all her pictures, even on stage, when she poses, she's all leaned back like this. This is terrible posture for a pageant. Even as I'm speaking, I can barely breathe because my airway is not open. Whew. When you're walking in a pageant, it's all about elongation, darling. That back needs to be straight. The shoulders need to be up and your neck needs to be elongated. You make it as long as possible. Reference point, this is me talking to you all. If I'm on stage, even just sitting down, I'll be sitting like this. Because look at how elegant that is. See that? But if I'm like this, not elegant. You have to elongate your back, elongate your neck, shoulders, everything. And I'll try to show you standing up. When you're training, if you look at any international pageant training, like boot camps and stuff, how they teach the girls how to walk, I hope I can be able to demonstrate this. Give me a sec. Okay, this is weird. I wish I had a regular broom. Okay, but so the first thing they do you see? The first thing they do is they give the girls a broom and they put it through their hands like this. Then you put your hands down, right? What does this do? It forces you to arch your back and straighten it. Do you see that? There's no room for leaning back with this. And then the second thing they do is they place 3 books about this thick on your head. Why? Because those books are not supposed to fall down. It's all about standing straight. You understand what I mean? So if I had 3 books on my head right now and I did this, they would fall down. So I was like, if only I could talk to her and tell her, sweet, like we can even practice virtually. Or I could have come to Mexico. We could have like done some runs down that hotel corridor. I don't know. Girl, I'm gonna need you to elongate. Your bottom half is great, but your top half is lacking. It makes, first of all, the reason you don't want to do that is because it makes you shorter. And in pageantry and walking, length is everything. So if you don't have the super long legs especially, you want to elongate the top half of your body. You see that? You see how straight I am? Okay. So now let me try and show you, even though I don't have much space here, how Irene's walk was. One sec. Okay. Okay. Oh boy. Move that to the side. go back a little. Okay, so I hope you guys can see me. So this was Irene's walk. She would walk like this. Like her back was arched like this. No, it was not arched. I mean, it was leaning back. So and when she poses at the end, she'll be like this. And I will put a picture next to me doing this for reference. Whereas it should be like this. You see this? This. This. Walk straight, straight. I wish I had more space to show you. But elongation is, okay, I'm on my tippy toes. Because when I'm walking, I automatically go on my tippy toes because you should be in your heels. So let me try not do it on my tippy toes. But like, it's hard to elongate without being on my tippy toes. But elongation is everything. Look at my neck. I have it stretched as much as possible. My shoulders are up. And my back is straight. The moment you do this, it's a bad walk. Light is out again. Let me go get the other battery. Give me a sec. All right, so now that I'm done with the shenanigans, I hope I was able to demonstrate to you like immediately. I understand that as Kenyans, we're not really exposed so much to the world of pageantry because we just as a nation have never been as invested. But where a walk might look cute from a girl walking down the street, we have standards in different things, but not in pageantry and not in modeling, like Western modeling or pageantry would that walk be fine. And granted, there's also a different walk for catwalk and a different walk for pageantry. But that I really was like, damn it, if only I could speak to her and tell her about the leaning back. I promise you that got some points deducted as well. So my thing is, you're refusing to take catwalk classes with the best catwalk coach in Kenya when I know for a fact that that catwalk coach would have told you, elongate that back, darling. That's the first rule of any catwalk coach worth their salt, is getting your posture right. And your posture wasn't right. It had a lot of potential, don't get me wrong, like she knows how to work the stage, but I'm like, if you can do such good maneuvers with such bad posture, imagine if you got your posture right and got the right training, because you're really good with your turns, you've got a great stage presence, but it's just the walk is not it. And I'm sorry to anyone who'll be mad at me, but like, unless you've ever walked a Miss Universe stage, please go look at all the other girls. All the girls who made the finals, not a single girl was leaning back. Posture is everything, especially in pageantry, because you are selling yourself in pageantry as this beautiful, elegant queen, darling. All right? You're a whole queen and you're elegant, so you got to elongate everything until it feels unnatural. And then the beauty of elongating it is it also forces you to tuck in your tummy as well. So while you're elongating, your tummy is in, and so that way everything is snatched in the right place. These are the things that I could have even told you virtually. These are some things that a good catwalk coach would have told you. So how do you take it? That's why that girl who represented France at MGI and broke the internet, that's why she went for extra classes, even though she's a catwalk coach herself. The moment you stop learning, you stop growing. And I hope all future girls who want to compete at Miss Universe Kenya watching this are taking notes on things not to do. Like, learn from the mistakes of the people who've come before you. You know, my mom told me once, and I never forgot, she said to me, a smart man learns from their mistakes, but a wise man learns from others' mistakes. Others make mistakes before you, take it as a chance of, oh, thank you, universe, because now I see what not to do. All right, so that aside, now we know she didn't wear the clothes. She did not go for the catwalk classes. She was not listening to anybody back home, apparently. And so I say to them straight up, and I hope I can find that text or voice note or whatever it was, but I was like, you know, looking at your previous coverage of the pageant during the Kenya phase, it looks to me like you guys were really sort of pedestalizing her and like placing her above other girls. Do you think that this helped also just like foster this sort of attitude in her that she's better than everyone? Because if you guys, I might be mistaken, but I feel like anything that I see where there was press, she's like the main one, and the other girls are in the background that you guys are sort of pushing to speak for you before she was even crowned, which is really wrong. And I was like, I hope you're learning from that, because my hunch is you guys put her on that pedestal because of that previous placement that she had. On top of that, maybe the fact that she presents herself so confidently. I think, if I remember correctly, I think on her bio it says she's an engineer or something. So I think you guys thought this girl is going to be super polished. But now that's something to think about, because in future, It's better to get a green girl straight from the village who shrubs, which, by the way, Miss Universe Kenya, shrubbing is not a crime. As long as a girl is elegant, in the international stage, they don't know that she's shrubbing. They just think, oh, that's just her accent, and they respect it. So keep that in mind, because I see a lot of beautiful Kenyan girls being overlooked because maybe they shrub or they don't sound like what Kenyans think eloquent is supposed to be. No, I don't care if you need to go to the pits of Turkana or Marakwet or Ukambani, Kitui. A queen is a queen no matter her environment. And even if she doesn't speak a lick of English, guess what? They have translators at Miss Universe. Even if she only speaks Swahili and she's from Mombasa, if she's a queen, take her. Because at Miss Universe, they have translators for those final questions. You see those Latina girls? In fact, most of them speak English. They just pretend they don't because when they ask for a translator, they have more time to think of the answer. Things to think about. That aside, going back to this, so I said that to them. Obviously, they did not respond to that part because I was like, I clocked it. I clocked it. That's what you did. You made her feel like you already pedestalized her for whatever reason. Then after that, she won. You gave her 1,000,000 shillings. Because that's the thing they told me. They're like, Rachel, we gave this girl 1,000,000 shillings and we got her a fancy apartment like fully furnished fancy apartment. Was it Kilimani or Kileleshwa for 1 whole year? Like, it's not that we don't have money. The organization has money. She just did not take our advice, and she let us spend all this money for no reason. And I'm like, well, what did she say when you reached out to her? She's like, that's why I told the woman that you were being ignored. I told our creative director and our staff that you were being ignored too, because guess what? She was unresponsive to us. So here, I'm going to find a text where they're like, she was unresponsive. So she says to me, she was completely unresponsive to us. She says to me that when they texted her in the group chat about where are these new outfits you're wearing coming from, you know what? She first of all left them on blue ticks for the longest time. Then she came back and told them, anything you have to say to me after the competition. That is what she told the Miss Universe Kenya team. And so it's like, say it after the competition. What good is that going to do? And I was just like, I have never heard of anything like this. This is the most unhumble queen. Like, what? This is not supposed to happen. Okay, last thing I'm going to mention. When she was at Miss Universe, you saw very few pictures and videos of her with other contestants. Like, I follow Chichi, I follow Miss Zimbabwe, I follow Miss Congo. Every day they would post multiple pictures, videos, stories with the other girls. But she posted very few, and that already spoke to me eons. And I said, that same attitude that I saw, at the time I did not know that she was doing it to Miss Universe Kenya too, but now in retrospect, the same attitude she was showing her own organization, I guarantee you she was showing the girls as well, because she's the type of, in my opinion, she's the type of woman who competes by literally trying to down the competition instead of collaborating. Because you see, after this, I'm gonna tell you exactly how you should have went about competing if you really were a serious competitor. Because what you did is you self-sabotaged. So one thing that a lot of girls at Miss Universe don't realize is that you are being watched constantly, okay? And everything you do is being reported to the others. And if you're that girl who's antisocial, and usually the antisocial girls, nobody wants to talk to them. When they're in the bus, no one wants to sit next to you. When you're at rehearsals and it's break time, everybody is huddling, you're just standing somewhere by yourself. They see that, and that counts against you. A couple of days before the pageant, Anne, the owner of the pageant, was asked what she'd like in a winner. And she said, we are looking for a humble, kind girl. Those are some of the words she used, but she really emphasized on they wanted someone humble, they wanted someone kind. Why? Because a queen, a Miss Universe queen, needs to be gracious with everyone. Not the type of person who will be mean to service personnel or who will be uncooperative with the organization. They need to know wherever they take you, you will be a good representation for the organization. No one will come off saying, oh, that Miss Universe had attitude. Oh, I got a weird vibe from her. Oh, she's this. oh, we sent her to go and work with our less fortunate, and she like seemed like she was disgusted to be there. All those are things they're looking at, because a Miss Universe needs to be an extremely agreeable person. You need to smile even when you want to cry, and even when you want to scream and shout out of anger. You need to mask that with a smile and be extremely gracious. So if behind the scenes you're showing signs that you're not able to be that person, I guarantee you it's working against you. And in my head, I'm like, I remember girls like this, and I know, a leopard doesn't change its spots. If she's like that with me, she's going to be like that with these girls. And that was before I knew that she was like that with her own organization, because why wouldn't you go and take pictures with, if I was you, girl, I would be like taking pictures with Chi Chi and Miss Zimbabwe, because those girls were uber photographed every day. In Africa, they only wanted to see Zimbabwe or Nigeria. And if you're right there next to them, guess what? Well, they see you too, and maybe they start to say, wait a minute, maybe she's got something. But honey, regardless, it wasn't going to happen with the outfits you had. Let's get into the hair. Terrible, all terrible. The wigs with the locks and the braids, I could tell in person, you can probably see the mesh all over the place, so a mess. But to their credit, on camera, you couldn't. Actually, if I had had a chance to speak to you, I'd have been like, if I wasn't able to bring you new hair, I'd have been like, throw everything else away. Keep only the wig with the locks. That is the only wig that looked good on you, because it made you stand out. The 1 year that a girl with locks competed at Miss Universe, and hers were real locks, I believe she was Miss Jamaica, she really stood out. So I was like, I would have told you, keep that, let that be your look. And actually, you look prettiest in it. Those are the wigs you're wearing that look like helmets on the side. So terrible. They did you no justice. They weren't well fitted to the shape of your face and your head. It's just, if only you had spoken to people. And Miss Universe says that they did not expect you to wear those wigs either. I don't know. But I would have been like that. Preliminaries, wear that wig on top of the walk and everything. But at least that could have been something, if you were listening to people, you could have been told. Now, again, going back to posing with other girls, when it comes to that, the things that you are choosing to wear, you need to know, like, you need to be able to stand out amongst all these girls. And if you're wearing something that looks shoddy, badly made, it doesn't stand out. To make matters worse, there's some outfits where you are wearing sport shoes. And it's like, girl, at Miss Universe, you already have girls who are like 5'10", 5'11", 6'1", and every single day, those girls will be wearing 6-inch platform heels. So how are you gonna look there, standing next to them with your baggy Sijui Inspirin pants that you made at home, those ones that had bubbles, and then you're wearing sport shoes? How are you gonna stand out next to Miss Venezuela, who's 6 feet tall and wearing 6-inch heels and decked out in her Dolce & Gabbana, Versace, Fendi, Gucci, you name it, or local designer who might as well be just as good? How? How are you going to stand out next to Miss Nigeria, who every outfit was thought out, photoshopped even before she set foot to Miss Universe? You sold yourself short. At Miss Universe, and to any other queen watching this who will ever be there in future, don't you ever, 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 ever dare wear flats at Miss Universe, unless it's a sports day and they've said wear flats. Even if you have a swimsuit thing where it's like a swimsuit party and there's going to be pictures, wear them with your highest platform heels, period. This is not a place for you to be comfortable and show off your little Inspirin outfit. No. Last but not least, I also want to say, when you're at Miss Universe, we don't call each other by name, and I'm pretty sure it's the same to date. My roommate was Miss Nigeria. I called her Nigeria. She called me Kenya. Everybody else, we called each other Denmark, Germany, USA. I only came to find out these girls' names after the pageant was over, and we were like, writing in our books to keep in touch. Because when you're there, I'm not Rachel, I'm Kenya. That's all everyone called me. Kenya, 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 Nigeria, Uganda, Belize, Trinidad and Tobago. You don't even call by your own name. What does that tell you? That you are not there to represent yourself. You are there to represent your country. So therefore, what's best for the country comes first. But you are there to represent Irene, the author. It was very self-serving. And I was so relieved when a girl that I used to compete with in Kenya back in the day, and she also represented Kenya at one of the top 3 pageants in the world. I'm not going to say who, because people might know. Hey, girl. But she said the same thing to me, and I was like, that's what I've been saying. She's like, she's not even photographing herself with the other girls, and it seems like she's just there for self-promotion. And I was like, girl. Anyone who's been to major pageants will tell you this. It's like, I don't know why she's not interacting with the other girls. But here's exactly where you went wrong. That whole strategy you took. Had you just put representing Kenya first and just did your best with what you'd been given, even if you did not place in the top 30, but Kenyans can look at you looking pretty on that stage representing them and say, you know what? Our girl did that. Our girl did that. A win is a win. We don't need her in the top 30. That would the mapendelezo. She did that. You would have won yourself more fans, and I guarantee you they would be more willing to buy your book. I am willing to bet, prove me wrong, that out of all those efforts, that at most you've sold just 5 books, if even. Because you were just there selling the heck out of your book. But guess what would have happened? If you went there and did the best for your country, then you would have stood out naturally. Kenyans would have sensed that instead of being in an uproar, and then they would have stood behind their queen. You would have upped your relevance as a public figure and continued to up it, and people would have bought that book without you even saying much. But instead, you decided to go behind the backs of your own organization, let them spend money on outfits you had no intentions of wearing because you had your own full line of crap made. And I'm sorry, honey, it was all crap. Really bad quality, just atrocious, my dear, like terrible. You had it all made just so you can sell each chapter of your book each day. But if I were you, I would have first of all saved myself money from making whatever that stuff was, taken the clothes they gave me, and if selling your book is that important, I would have made each and every one of those outfits mean something from my book. Like that beautiful black jumper, like, yeah, this represents the Black Panther spirit from chapter 6 of my book. Inspiring. You know, at least people will be like, well, damn, she looks good. And what is it again? Ooh, girl, like that I can get behind. Yeah, I see it. Because once we like what you look like, we're more willing to listen to whatever else you have to say. Rule 101 of communication, don't be your own distraction. Again, I'm talking, one of my 3 degrees is in communication studies. If I was doing this video right now and I had clanking bangles, every time I move, they're like clink, clink, clink. You wouldn't hear anything I was saying because all you're hearing is the clink of my bangles. So if I come in front of you with a completely ridiculous outfit that doesn't look like it's supposed to be for where I'm at, and I'm trying to give you the story behind the outfit, all you're doing is dissecting it, and you're like, those pants, who made them? What kind of fabric is that? Girl, who came up with that design? That doesn't even make sense. Like, what is that? You know, if I had time, I would actually go outfit by outfit and just show you I'm not hating. Like, a lot of those outfits were really quite ridiculous, but they definitely were not Miss Universe level. On the other hand, had you told me, or had we been in touch, I would have told you, girl, put those outfits down now. You don't like the ones Miss Universe gave you? Bring Will Franco, designer. Bring DeQuincy Atterbury. Bring so many designers I know. I need dresses, and these are people who design for celebrities who walk the biggest red carpet. They show on New York Fashion Week, LA Fashion Week, Miami Fashion Week, Japan Fashion Week, Milan Fashion Week. I know so many designers. Bring. I need some clothes from your showroom. Yeah, she's a size 4. She's at Miss Universe right now. She's at Miss Universe, sending right away. Why? Because that's instant press. And that's how it works. Like, I'm here. I know how it works. Like, when I went to the BET Awards this year, I wasn't sure I was going this year, so I was just chilling at home. Then 2 hours before, I get a phone call. Rachel, do you know your credentials for BT came through? I'm like, what do you mean? Nobody told me. Really? Seriously? And I was like scrambling last minute. But what? I don't even have an outfit. I didn't think I was going because usually I know about my credentials coming way before. So I just picked the first dress I got in my closet, which is just a shiny, sparkly, actually mini dress, and I ran out the door. And all my designers were like, Rachel, why didn't you tell me you're going to BET? I had a gown for you. I would have sent you a gown over, my design over in Atlanta. I would have like FedExed you something overnight. My point is, I have context to where I could have made it happen. Now, coming down to your national costume, you claimed, and I actually spoke out for you, and that's why people stopped attacking you regarding it for the most part. You claimed to your organizers that your bags were lost, which is why you ended up showing up on stage with what you did. That's what you claimed. Okay. So here's my thing. If we were in communication and you told me that, this is what I said immediately. I would have quickly gotten her an outfit made. Within even a week, I would have quickly rushed it over to Mexico. I know so many costume designers here. And again, I would even get them to do it for free, because for the chance to be able to say, we dressed Miss Kenya at Miss Universe, and this is like, I know those designers who work with big feathers, and they make those like carnival outfits with beading, like, and dress celebrities. I would have had them do something with a Kenyan flag, something just, and brought it to you. But you didn't want any help, right? So then here's what the Miss Universe Kenya lady ends up confessing to me, and I'll put that text up. She tells this to me just the other day. Oh, by the way, there's something I didn't tell you. When it comes to the national costume, she only told us 2 days before the preliminaries that her bags were lost. And so that's where alarm bells started ringing, because I'm like, I stood up for these girls. All of Kenya were like, oh, anyone who would complain, someone would be in the comments saying, no, her bags were lost. That's what the former Miss Kenya, Rachel Mbuki, said. So believe it. And now I'm like, girl, I don't believe you. You need more people. I don't believe you. You need more people. Because first of all, in this day and age, when your bags are lost traveling in transit, usually they're able to locate them within hours, and they will deliver them to you wherever you are. Even there's a time I went to Kenya and my bags were lost. I don't know, somewhere in transit. They were brought all the way to our doorstep for me. Usually, at most, it takes 24 to 48 hours for bags to appear. Point number one. Point number two, you're going to Mexico, where the Miss Universe pageant is being held. Miss Universe is a huge deal to Mexico. Like, this was a huge deal to them. It's huger than what it would be if Miss Universe was being held in Kenya, because these people eat, live, breathe pageants. It's everything. So you're telling me you went to the airline at the airport and said, I'm Miss Kenya. I'm here for the Miss Universe competition, and my national costume has been lost. And that airline did not stop in its tracks and do everything to get you those bags ASAP, because they don't want bad press that this airline is the one that let Miss Kenya down? Use a lie. Use a whole lie. When I had that 2-day thing, I was like, now you're lying. And I helped perpetuate the lie. Those bags were not lost. With everything that I've found out about how this queen carried herself and the decisions she made, this is my hunch. She saw this costume. This is the rendering. This is how the final looked. In my opinion, much better than what she had on, honey. And she remixed it in her head and thought, I don't want to wear this. I'm just going to change it. And you had this whole thing in your head where I'll just carry like 4 names, and I'll come outside and I'll do this at the front, cover my whole face and come out. Then I'll pretend I'm running. Like, in your head, it made sense. But on stage, it was like, are those booty shots? What is going on? What is she holding in her? Are those pictures of people? What? You did not see the bigger picture. In my heart of hearts, I believe that's what happens. Because I told Miss Universe Kenya, I said, we can easily find out if what she's saying is true. If she lost her luggage, she will have a lost luggage ticket claim. You can call the airline yourself and confirm if that luggage was found, and if so, when was it delivered. I know Miss Universe Kenya ended up telling me they were so let down by her later that no one picked her up at the airport. But I would be curious, from whoever picked her up, can they say how many bags she had? Was it the same number of bags she had going to Miss Universe? Because are you saying that in the last 2 days of Miss Universe, the bags came back? So another example, out of the 3 Kenyan outfits that she wore, one was supposed to be this sort of like Maasai blanket type fabric, which was made into a skirt suit, and then it had like a little bralette. Okay, it had a little bralette. And that's actually very chic right now. Is it Versace? One of the big brands is like totally culturally appropriating it right now and making similar outfits. So it actually would have been good. So she wears it, but then instead of wearing the bralette, which would have looked really good with it, she just wears some baggy black blouse underneath. She just decides, screw this bralette. I'm just going to wear it this way instead. And just looks very meh. So it's not giving. So it's in my head, I'm like, wow, the original outfit was actually supposed to be amazing, but you spoiled it for no reason. So what's to make me feel like you did not spoil the national costume just because you felt like you can do it better, you can interpret it better? Oh, I can do it like this. Let me go for simple, because all these girls have big things. Let me just be the simple one. But you did not see how those shorts look so poorly constructed and those little metal things all over them. And you know it's true because not only Kenyans are commenting on it, people from all over Africa, all over the world are like, oh, Kenya's outfit, what was going on there? What happened to the headpiece? I do not for 1 second believe those outfits were lost. So now, as I wind up this video, because I don't know if there's anything else I'm supposed to talk about that I'm forgetting, I just want to, I challenged both the Miss Kenya organization and Irene herself, the title holder. If it's true, Miss Kenya organization, that this girl was not supposed to be the winner and you pulled strings to make sure that she did, question is one, why? And two, do you see how things blow up in your face when you pedestalize a contestant? Again, this is allegedly. I don't know if that's true, but things just kind of look the way they look. So that's one, right? Do you see how that makes it's better to have a girl who's super green that you can train and that is malleable than someone who thinks they know everything? And when it comes to Irene, do you see how not being a team player ended up losing, just sabotaging, ended up leading to you self-sabotaging, really? And sabotaging Kenyans in the process, and now they're mad. And it's just, I've never heard of anything like this. And I know queens from all over the world. And the reason I kept mentioning the other girls is if you're a good competitor, whether you like someone or not, let's say maybe you don't like me, you don't F with me. I mean, listen, there are some people who can't stand me and they've never met me a day in their lives, and that's all good. But if you're going to compete, be like, ooh, I can stand that B. But listen, what can she give me that can benefit me? That is how a true competitor does it. Like, I don't like you, but what you got for me? Oh, I can change this. Oh, I can change that. Be open to hearing from people who are actually trying to help you because it's for your own good. And that also showed in your interaction with the other girls, because whether or not you feel like these girls are your competition, a real competitor doesn't stay on the side like, oh, please, you're my competition and I'm better than you. No, you say, oh, excuse me. You say, B, you're my competition, but come here. Let's take this picture and smile for the camera and pose and be seen together so I can steal some of your spotlight. Hey, I love you. After this pageant, I'll never talk to you again. But if you want to be that type of competitive competitor, then do it in that way. Don't isolate people and isolate yourself when you're trying to make yourself seem like you're above. Anytime you're trying to put yourself up and others down because you're competing, you've already lost. That's not how you compete. Me personally, in my day, and that's how I go through life to this day, I don't compete by comparing myself to others. I do my best. And I remember this is the first time it clicked in my head during Miss Universe Kenya, just when we were competing. And I was in school, at uni, I had a programming project in my IT course. It was a lot. And I say to myself, I'm going to do my best. I'm going to work out with this trainer as hard as I can. Wake up at 4 a.m., go train with my trainer, go back in the evening, go back to school after I cook at home, come back home at 11 because I had to go finish my project, go rehearse during the day. And I said, I used to walk around Strathmore with a 2-liter bottle of water trying to keep my liquids in. I said, I'll do my best, my very best, so that win or lose, I'll have no regrets because I did my best. And that really worked for me. And so it's clicked because I was 19 years old at the time. So I was like, oh. So if you just do your best and don't look around you, just do you and do your best, you could actually, it's a guilt-free way of going through it. Because if you win, it's like, yay, I did my best, and my best better than everybody else. And if you don't win, it's like, listen, I gave everything. There's no more I could have done. See, no guilt. But when you focus on competing with the other girls and outshining them, then that's when you end up in a situation like this. So the whole thing was very unfortunate. I've never met a queen who did not cooperate with their own team. Leave alone me, leave alone anyone else, your own team. sort of acting like they're beneath you, like they don't know anything, they can't tell you nothing. I won't take your catwalk courses. Yeah, you can go spend money on clothes for me, but I won't wear your clothes. I'll do my own. Had you just done your best to represent Kenya, your book would sell itself, my darling. But now, and then that's another thing. And this, no, okay, now this is going to be my final point before I end this video. And this goes to both Irene and the Miss Universe Kenya. This attitude that you two entities have of just ignoring people and going silent, because the designer complained about the same thing, you ignore them. Kenyans are complaining about the same thing. You not only ignore them when they post concerns on your pages, on your posts, but you've been blocking people. You have been blocking people. And guess what else, you guys? They blocked me too. And I'm the one who helped them with the national costume thing. I don't know if they blocked me at the time when I was asking where Irene was. I didn't check, but this is how I found out that I was blocked. So my friend Nessie was going off on the Miss Universe Kenya organization in her stories. Oh yeah, they did this, they did that, they let the girl down. And then at some point she starts complaining she's blocked. So I reach out to her, I'm like, girl, you need to call me. There's more to this story. It's not just them. They definitely dropped the ball, but the girl did too. Apparently, when it comes to outfits, it was all her, not them. So she calls me and tells me, so while we're talking on the phone and I've told her everything that's going on, I then say, you know what? Let me see if I'm blocked. Lo and behold, I'm blocked. So I reach out to this lady. I'm like, I'm blocked. Because I wanted to tell her, why are you blocking people? It's like, I said, I'm blocked. I started by telling her, why have you been blocking people? You shouldn't block people. You're a business page. It's better for you to turn off your comments than block people. Otherwise, you'll be blocking the whole country because almost everyone that has seen the pageant is really mad. And these same people you're blocking could be your biggest supporters tomorrow. Why are you doing that? So while we're doing that and I'm talking to Nessie, I go check because I'm writing to her, talking to Nessie. I'm blocked too. Oh, ooh, okay, this light went off too. Okay, I'm gonna have to work on I'm gonna have to just brighten this part post edit. So I'm like, wait, I'm blocked too. Why would you block me? Why would you block me? Like, I'll post a text message. She's like, oh my God, I can't believe this. I don't know why that would happen. Then she tells me later, oh, it's this admin person who blocked you and has been blocking everyone else. They have been instructed to unblock everyone. And definitely I'm blocking you. I'm so sorry. The organization is actually really happy with you for helping them. And I'm like, it's ridiculous. You're a business, not a personal entity. You shouldn't be taking things personally. Unblock people. What are you doing? And then to block me, whether or not I disagreed with you, I'm a former queen. I'm an alumni. Like, why would you block me? Oh, I'm probably going to stay blocked after this. But anyway, this was days ago and they're like, oh yeah, we're unblocking everybody. And I'm so sorry you were blocked, but we're unblocking everybody and we're just going to mute them if necessary. I'm still blocked. So I'm guessing they never did that. That was like probably several days ago, a week ago even, I don't know. Then they ended up reaching out to Nessie as well. Maybe she can tell you guys about that. But yeah, this whole thing that you guys do where instead of facing issues head on, you ignore people and then you block people and then you say nothing. Irene, this whole time you came back, a queen is a public figure. It's not just about the times when you're being adored. Sometimes it's important to face an issue and just say, listen, I know some people are disappointed by the choices I made at Miss Universe, but I just want to let you know that I might have been misguided, but you know, my intentions were great, you know. I'll do my best to represent this crown as I move forward. I lost that light too. Okay, let me just put this one here to end. So yeah, like if you just said that, things would have been better for sure. But like you come back and it's radio silence. Miss Universe Kenya organization, it's all radio silence. You are all hoping that it just goes away. That's not how it works. Statements should be put out. People should be listened to. It's all giving very much, you know, that Kenyan thing that Kenyans do, the classism thing, where you look down on people. It's giving peasants, we will not respond to you. And given that the owner of the pageant is a politician, I don't think that's a particularly good thing because it's giving very much political class. I don't owe you explanations. But this is not the political realm. I'd say to this woman over and over again, you guys need to put out a statement and address Kenyans and let them know what happened. And if you, because they were telling me, oh, we are so done with Irene, you know, she's just sitting back and watching us get annihilated online and saying nothing, when she could just speak up and say that this is not actually what happened, this is what happened, I did my own thing, so we're done with her. In fact, her crown is going to be taken back soon, and we're starting the pageant really early this time. Yeah, but how about you speak to your audience? Because that's the same audience that's going to be like, you know what, we get it. Now they'll challenge you to do better the next time. And when you do better the next time, they will support. And then on top of that, all of this disgruntlement that you're seeing online is actually a good thing, because it means that Kenyans care. And Kenyans are talking about Miss Universe Kenya for the first time in a long time. So that next year when you're doing it, you'll have more eyes on you, because they'll be like, ooh, we better not see you mess up in the same way this time. But guess what that means? You have eyes on you and you have interest, and then you'll have more support. And hopefully we can get to a point where we support our Miss Kenya like Nigerians supported Chi-Chi. You know what I'm saying? That's why you're missing the mark. So I hope that lessons are going to be learned from this. To people who wanted clarity, I hope you have an idea of what went on. This information came to me directly from the Miss Universe Kenya organization. So unless they were lying to me about the girl wearing her own things and not theirs, then I don't see why they would, first of all, because I literally have shown you the text. And that would be weird, even weirder than it is right now. Miss Universe Kenya organization, do better. Just do better in all the points and all the ways in which I've said you made mistakes. Make them better. Kenyans want to see your pageant, which is their pageant, do well. And their eyes are on you now. Don't let them down. And I'm here if you need a resource for anything. I always reach out to all the girls. Future girls, take advantage of me. I don't make time for just anyone. But Miss Universe is a priority to me because this pageant changed my entire life. It gave me the life that I have now. It showed me that anything that I would like to do, it's possible if I set my mind to it. It showed me that there's so much more than I can expect of myself. And I want that for another girl. So I'm here. Whether or not this organization continues to keep me blocked, I'm here. Reach out to me. Also, reach out to former Miss Universe Kenyas. Reach out to Roshanara. She's absolutely beautiful. She was 2019. Reach out to Miss Michuki. Oh my gosh, she's so fabulous. Living it up in Dubai. Like, come on, supermodel. Reach out to Scarlett Were. She's the only one of us who's ever placed, man. She's the only one. She's a one to beat. She's a one that people are like, when are Kenyans gonna send us another one of these? Be in all our DMs like, girl, what can I do? And if any of us doesn't get back to you, then leave them. But like, go with whoever can help you. Be humble, be open-minded, be determined, be willing to grow and to learn. Understand that Kenyans in general might hate on each other, diss each other, put each other down. But one thing Kenyans don't like is to be embarrassed abroad. So for that reason, everyone will want you to do well. Most people. I mean, maybe your peers will know, I don't know, but like the ones who came before you, I'm pretty sure the other queens would want to help too. Reach out to all of us. Take everything we have to offer. If you're somewhere close to me again in South America, girl, let me know what you're missing. I will I will get it to you like this. Don't make these same mistakes. As for Irene, I think you are doing what you felt was best for you, and that's okay. You were putting your best foot forward, doing what you felt was best for where you were going, even though I think maybe it was misguided. Maybe people in your family or your close group of friends were advising you. I don't know who was, but take from this and learn from it. You're still so young. You have your whole life ahead of you. Collaboration is a good thing. No man is an island. And when it comes to competition, don't compete from a place of cutting down. Compete from a place of collaboration. You will do more. And when it comes to doing anything in life, do your best and the rest will fall in place. But don't belittle anyone in the process. Don't do anything that will yield a negative karmic result, because it's not fair to you yourself either. You're a beautiful young lady, and I wish you all the best with all you do moving forward. And listen, everyone watching this, go check out Irene's Instagram. I believe her name is Irene at Irene Muki. I'm not sure if Mukii. Check out what she's about. Check out her book. Clearly, this book means a lot to her. Maybe there's a message in there that she's really trying to pass that is actually something you could use. Go check it out and buy the book if you can. And support her as well. You know, we make mistakes, we fall down, we get up. All I care about is that we do better moving forward. And the next girl, hit me up, girl. I got you. Okay, I've come to the end of this. My gosh, I hope that it was informative. Now let me go and edit it and put it up. It's going to be a lot because I have to go and put in all those like texts and stuff, but we'll get through it. And it's really late in LA right now, so there's that. So yeah, hopefully I'll have it out to you soon, but please subscribe to Extra Access TV. Support your girl. I'm in Hollywood, raising the Kenyan flag high, and take me as an example of what you can do as well. All right? Thank you, everyone. Bye.